Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Java programming class. So, in the last class, we started discussing about method overriding. So, in this class, let us look at what is runtime polymorphism and what is dynamic method dispatch. So, dynamic method dispatch. Method overriding is the basis for dynamic method dispatch or runtime polymorphism. So, dynamic method dispatch is the mechanism by which a call to a overridden method is resolved at runtime rather than at compile time. What does this mean? So how is runtime polymorphism achieved? A superclass reference variable can refer to a subclass object. Class object is equal to new subclass. So when we are creating an object in this format, you can see that superclass object, you are creating object of type superclass. So this is a superclass reference variable and new subclass, that is object is actually a subclass object. This is being referred to the superclass reference variable. A superclass reference variable can refer to a subclass object. So when we create a superclass reference variable and assign a subclass object to it, in this fashion, assume that we have a class called shape, which is the base class, and there were two child classes for it. One is rectangle and the second one is triangle. And in this class, you can see that there is a particular string and two methods. One is get area and the second one is toString method. Okay. In the rectangle class, we got length and width and we got get area and toString method. So get area and toString method are overridden. They are defined again in the rectangle class. In the same way in the triangle class, I got base and height. These are two variables. Along with it, I got get area and toString method. These are also overridden. So when we have a hierarchy of classes like this, we can create a reference variable using the base class. For example, shape S2. The S2 is a reference variable created using the base class. Then you can assign either rectangle object to S2 or triangle object to S2. Okay. So this particular S2 can be assigned any of the child objects also. So when an overridden method is called through a superclass reference, so what happens if you do this? For example, I am creating shape S1 and S1 is equal to new rectangle, S1 dot get area. So I am writing this or calling this get area method, which is a overridden method, which is present in shape, is also present in rectangle, it is also present in triangle. When I say S1 dot get area, then Java determines which version of that method to execute based upon the type of the object being referred to at the time the call occurs. When this call occurs, S1.getArea, when this instruction is being executed, what is there in S1? Here S1 is new rectangle. So getArea method from the rectangle class is executed. In the same way, in the next line when I say S1 is equal to new triangle, and when I run this method S1.getArea, then this is going to call the area method from the triangle class. So which method is called depends on what is the object that is assigned to it at that particular point of time. Okay. So we can say that which method is being called is decided at runtime. Okay. So in the same way, whenever we observe this particular line S1.getArea and this particular line S1.getArea, you can say that the same code, the same line is executing differently here and here. Same interface, different method. Okay, that is the aim of polymorphism. So we are telling that this is determined at runtime. That is the reason we call it as dynamic method dispatch. The method is dispatched dynamically, that is at runtime. When different types of objects are referred to, different versions of overridden methods will be called. Okay. So based on the object it is being referred to, different things will happen. It is not fixed to a particular type. Okay. So let us try to illustrate this using an example. So here I am writing this class 2D shape, which is the base class. Let us have three variables here: height, depth, and string name. That is name of the shape. Okay, depth and height, because it is 2D shape, it will have 2 dimensions. Then I am going for class triangle extends 2D shape. Let us have one child class triangle. Class rectangle extends 2D shape, another child class rectangle. And this is dynamic shapes, where we are going to write the main method, where we will create objects for 2D shape. Okay, triangle and rectangle, and call the methods on that. In this 2D shape, let us write a constructor for it. I am taking 2D shape constructor. So this is a default constructor because I am not passing any parameters there. Let me initialize height and depth is equal to 0.0 and name is equal to none. That's one constructor. Let us write another constructor. 2D shape double x in n. Here we are doing this. Height is equal to depth is equal to x. Name is equal to n. Okay. If we want, we can write another constructor. The constructors can be overloaded. 2D shape double for depth t, double height in n, height is equal to h, depth is equal to d, and name is equal to n. We got 3 constructors here. So let me write one, because these variables are all private variables which cannot be accessed outside of this class. That is, in the triangle class or rectangle class, we cannot access these variables. So it is a good idea to write the getter and setter methods for these variables. So I am just writing the getter methods. So getter methods means I can access, I am writing those methods to access these variables using the method. Okay. So the first method I am writing is get height. It is a double, so return type is double. Get height. No arguments being passed. Return height. Double. Get depth. Return depth. Double. Get name. Return name. So we got 3 getter methods, and I am also writing setter methods. Using these, we can set the values. First one I am writing is void set height. So to set height, I need to pass some height. So height is equal to h. Void set depth double d. Depth is equal to d. Okay, we got setter and getter methods. Let me write a method to display the dimensions. So void show dimensions. This, I think, void show dimensions. This I'm writing system dot out dot println height and depth are as height and F. Okay, then I'm closing this, and last method, void area, because I cannot calculate the area of a 2D shape. I'm just writing. Override this method. Let it return some double. So here return 0.0. So I have written a particular class name as 2D shape with 3 instance variables. All these variables are private variables. 3 constructors, getter methods, setter methods, okay, show dimension, and also area methods. So let us define another class triangle extends 2D shape. Because it is extending to 2D shape, all these things will be already present here, double, height, and depth. Okay, so let me make use of the constructors. We know that a child class can call the parent class constructor using the super keyword. What I am doing is that, first of all, triangle, so just call the super class constructor using the super keyword. So that will call the default constructor. The next one is triangle. Okay, so let us override this particular one, double x string n. The UIU will double x comma string n. Just call super x comma n. Close. Triangle double d double h string n. Super. Let me observe d h n. That's all. We got all the 3 constructors ready. Setter methods will be ready. We should be overriding the area method. So let us look at this double area. What is the area of the triangle? It should be half into base into height. So return. Let us just multiply this. So how to get the base, depth, and height of this particular triangle? Because we cannot access, we know that a class cannot inherit the private members. So depth and height cannot be inherited, but they can be accessed using the getter methods and setter methods. So it is possible to access these methods. So I am just writing get height into get depth. That is the advantage of writing those methods. So return get height into get depth by 2. Okay, that's all. This is our triangle class. It's ready. Let us go to the rectangle class. Class rectangle extends 2D shape exactly the same way. That is write the rectangle constructors, default constructor. I'm just calling the parent class constructor using super keyword. Rectangle double x comma string n. So again, what is that we are doing? Super x comma n cross rectangle double d double h string n. Again, just use super d comma h comma n. We got all the 3 constructors ready. Let me override the area method. Double area. So return get depth into get height. That's all. So we got a parent class, child class, and another child class, everything defined, and area method is there present in the child classes. We can write additional methods also if you want in the both any of the child classes we want. Okay, so this is the parent class. let us write the main method. So public class dynamic shapes, public static void main string args. So let me create a class, an object for 2D shape. 2D shape array I am creating. Shapes is equal to new 2D shape. Okay. Let us initialize the values. Shape 1, shapes 0 is equal to new triangle. So we can see this. This is actually 2D shape is actually, let me pass some value here, 3 comma triangle. Okay. 2D shape is actually the parent class and the shapes is the reference variable of the 2D shape. But here I am assigning an object of triangle class. Okay. In the same way we can assign the object of any child class is equal to new rectangle 3 4 rectangle. Okay, so we can make some changes to the constructors and we can pass additional parameters or other things also, that is also possible. Shapes 2 is equal to new triangle, is possible to pass triangle. Shapes 3 is equal to new rectangle, passing only one argument. Shapes 4 is equal to new, I'm just creating 2D shape. 2D shape. Okay, so we created 5 different objects. So now I can access using the for loop and I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. So we can call like this, system dot out dot println shapes of I dot get name. So it will return the name of every shape. System dot out dot println again shapes of I dot get, I get simply area. Out dot println, just putting an empty line there. So when I got these things ready, I got 2D shape ready, save it, triangle, I'm saving it, rectangle, save it, dynamic shape, save. Now to compile this, okay, we should compile every class. What I'm doing is, first of all, I'm compiling. I have written every class in a different file, you can see that. So first of all, I'm compiling 2D shape, Java C, 2D shape dot Java. There was an error, return name string cannot be converted to double. Okay, so there I think I have written type is double and I'm returning name somewhere, get name. Yeah, this is string. Okay, save. Go there, compile it again. It's working. Then again Java C triangle.java, compile the other class. Error, cannot find the symbol. Get HIGHT. Get DBTH. Let us look at the spellings there. HIGHT. Right. Save, compile 2D shape again, then compile triangle. That's working. Then Java C rectangle.java. Then Java C dynamic shapes.java. So shapes 4 is equal to new 2D shape, 3 4 2D shape. Capital S there should be small. Okay. Save, compile. Okay, Java dynamic shapes. You can see the output. The first one is triangle area 4.5, rectangle 12.0, triangle 3.0, square 16.0, 2D shape. We should override this method because it doesn't know any area. It is written in 0.0. Okay, so you can see how it is working using the parent class reference variable. Okay, so this is an example for dynamic method dispatch program. Okay, so here we, we are looking at different things. Okay, what are getter methods, what are setter methods, how to use private variables. We said that private variables won't be inherited into the child class in the triangle. I cannot inherit those variables directly, but I can access them using the getter methods here. That is how I have access to them. In the rectangle class also, we are using getter methods to find the area which were defined in the parent class. Okay, when it comes to the dynamic shape, we can see this. The shapes is a variable, a reference variable of the parent class, and we can assign any object to that from the child class. A parent class variable can be assigned a child class variable. And which method is called whenever we are calling a overridden method? When you can see this area method is overridden method, and particular correct method will be called based upon the object it is referring to. Okay, thank you everyone.